Hi, Samesh. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Rosita's is going okay. The video is doing quite well, actually. It's had a few thousand watches on various like different places. So that's quite good, really. I'm quite chuffed with that, really, within the first week. Um, and yeah, I just was really interested to know more at some stage about the um, the AI algorithm or whatever it was that was for Spotify growth, because that's something I could potentially think about investing in. And yeah, glad to see that lots of people have listened. And I sent an invitation to your sound group on from the Pachamama portal. So it looks like quite a few people from my network have now joined the song group, which I think is great. You know, if we can, like, as a community all together, grow that space, then we can all benefit from it because it's like everybody's networks coming together in one space. So yeah, I guess it's just about encouraging the others to kind of do the same, isn't it? And then we can all benefit from it. Anyway, I'm back off to the recording studio tomorrow. I'm going to record off to go back to see Tristan and yeah, another couple of days of recording a new song called Home, which is going to be the next offering. And then after that, I think I'm going to run out of money, basically. So I'll have to just keep praying or try and keep manifesting. Because it is an expensive business, this music stuff. All right, hope you're all good. And yeah, again, thanks for the support and chat soon.
Mm, Hey, welcome everybody. I'm just sharing the live to a few of the groups. Unfortunately, I couldn't go live into the group straight away, so I'm just copying and pasting the live in and hoping that some people join in the Zoom as well. That'd be amazing. It's 6 o'clock now, so we should be starting. Let's see if we can get a few people in. We're just waiting to welcome some people in. In the meantime, I'm trying to find this group. Private challenge, here we go. Oh, not that one. Okay, let's see if I can find it. It's that one there. Okay, here we are. So I'm going to paste the live in there. Here we go. We are live at 6 o'clock on Monday, the 3rd of July. And we have a couple of people joining us, just waiting to hey there. Okay, I'm just waiting for a few people to go live. Okay, sorry for this delay. Hope everybody's having a good day. So welcome to the One Song Away 5-day challenge, releasing your music online. Very excited. Oh, and also very nervous at the same time. Every time I do these, it doesn't get any easier at the start. It's like performing, isn't it? Have you ever had that experience of, well, I'm sure you do. Performers, those performance nerves. So, yeah, so let's see in the chat there. We've got at least one person joining us today. That's fantastic. Jennifer, where are you from, Jennifer? Just type in the chat there. Yeah, and somebody else is joining us too. New York, fantastic. What time is it in New York? 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Fantastic. Hey, Vaishnavi. I totally messed that up. So sorry. Where are you joining us from? Just type in the chat there. West Wales, fantastic. Okay, so this is the first day of the 5-day Master Your Music Release Challenge. So that's fine. We won't be very long. We'll be like 30 minutes max. So Jennifer and Vaishnavi, who are live on the Zoom here, thanks for joining us. And we've had about 30 people register, so which is fantastic. Not everybody always can make it live, but the recordings will be recorded and they will be back in the Facebook group under the features section. So I'm just going to show you the feature section very quickly, just so we can get an idea of what that's like. So this is the Facebook group, the One Song Away 5-day free challenge. Just type in the chat there. Have both of you ladies joined the group? Do you know where the group is? You're all good with that? Okay, as Jennifer's joined. Vaishnavi, have you joined? Okay, Vaishnavi's joined as well. That's fantastic. Okay, so if anybody's listening on the recording, please make sure that you join the Facebook group. I've sent out numerous emails. One thing I do realize though is with the emails, there's an issue sending emails to both BT Connect and Hotmail accounts. So that is an issue which I'm dealing with right now, and I'll probably resend those emails from the Gmail account. But anyway, in the chat, how are we today? How is everybody? Jennifer says she's great. Fantastic. So can I ask you what's who is releasing music coming up very soon? Vaishnavi is releasing music in 3 months. That's great. And Jennifer's got a release in September and November. Fantastic. So this is perfect timing for you, Jennifer, because you're going to have everything you need to know, like a great, fantastic framework on how to release music in a very structured way. In the chat, can you just write out, so what interested you in taking part in this challenge? What was the, why have you taken time out of your day to join this challenge? Okay, I'll call it V. Thanks, Vaishnavi. What is your what was your calling? And what do you, should I say, what do you hope to get out of joining the challenge this week? Okay, Jennifer is up for learning more. And V, she says she has a pretty good idea about release strategies, but it's timing as I'm heading into planning the next release. Okay, fantastic. So just in the chat there, Jennifer and V, can you put in some of your links? Yeah, so that's a good question about overwhelm. We can definitely deal with that. Any links to, what is the link that you promote the most in terms of your music? Do you have like a link tree? Do you promote your page? Do you promote your website? Just so I can get an idea of the music and your social media. Is it your Instagram? Is it your main social media channel? And then we'll take a look at that quickly. V says she's in the middle of reorganizing everything, new URL and website. I'd like to see some of your music. So yeah, put it in the chat when you've got something, we can take a look at it. Okay, Jennifer's she's on Instagram. So any links to any of your music, any of your social media, pop it in the chat there. We can take a look at it and give you some feedback on it. In the meantime, I'm going to ask a couple more questions, because actually, there is a structure to this One Song Away challenge. But the whole point about this challenge is to, at the end of this challenge, to get you to, in fact, yeah, put your Spotify link would be fantastic if you've already released some music. So the point about the challenge is to really take you from wherever you are now and just give you more of a framework and a structure to releasing your music, and hopefully in that process reduce some of the overwhelm that you're probably feeling around releases. So while I'm checking that out, can I ask you, in terms of overwhelm, V, what do you find overwhelming about doing releases? And Jennifer as well, what's your what's your main thing that you'd like to learn out of doing this challenge over the next 5 days? So V says the intensity of the actual release day, and also planning all the different moving parts. There's so many steps. And okay, I've got Jennifer's Spotify. That's fantastic. Okay. Okay, so basically what the One Song Away coaching program is, or the One Song Away sort of framework, is just a 5-step process from taking you from, you know, the beginning stages of planning your release to the end stages of the release and the post-launch. So basically I've worked with a whole lot of musicians over the last 2.5 years, coaching them, helping them through the whole process. Starting off with, you know, just after the lockdown, after, you know, I started running this online festival called the Sacred Sound Festival. We had loads of musicians, and we did loads of amazing online, you know, sort of concerts. And at that stage, I realized that, you know, musicians have, you know, before lockdown, I think most of, especially in the sacred music sort of genre, folk music, the musicians were really focused on, you know, live performing. And then all of a sudden we were thrown into this world where live wasn't an option. And we had to all of a sudden get to grips with the online world. And so once you know, some of the musicians that I was working with, you know, we found that was a challenge, decided to help out and sort of be in some way a guide or somebody that could help out in that sphere based on my own training and my marketing skills. So I started this coaching program called One Song Away. And One Song Away, we've had a whole lot of musicians come through the process. And, you know, this is where this challenge comes from. So I've recently relaunched. I took a bit of a break and I've relaunched now. We did a challenge in June, beginning of June, and we had a whole group of musicians come through that. And now this is the second challenge I'm doing, planning to do once a month, and then also to run like workshop days as well. So the point is that to really create a community around the music, releasing music, and sacred sound, or musicians, just creating like a supportive community where we're supporting each other, helping each other grow through the process of releasing music, and bringing all these musicians together so we can cooperate, we can share information, we can share knowledge, we can support each other. Because as you know, being an independent musician is, you know, it's challenging. It's challenging because you're quite you're independent. You don't have the support of a team normally. You don't have managers. You don't have like backing staff, especially in the beginning when you're starting to launch. And as you grow, maybe, you know, you get to the stage of like Nesty, Isla, that type of level. Maybe you can take on board like somebody to do your social media. Maybe you've got a manager. Maybe you've got a label. Maybe you've got somebody, you know, like a VA or something like that you can start forming that little team. But in the beginning, it's, you know, it's quite a lonely process. When you come across challenges like, okay, how to release onto Spotify, what's the best, you know, release strategies, what things are working right now as opposed to things that are working last year, what do we do now that really is making a difference? You know, there's nice to have this little community that we're forming. So one thing I did find, or I did create a couple of years ago, was I want, before I go into that, what sort of genre is your music, Jennifer, and what sort of genre is your music, V? If you just pop that in the what sort of genre do you consider your music to be in? If you pop that in the chat box, that'd be great. Just taking a look at some of your music as well. Yeah, what sort of genre do you consider your music to be in? I would say V, your music is Kirtan, and you're doing quite well on this track Om Namah Shivaya. That's pretty good traction, I would say. That's fantastic. So got 3 tracks on there. That's really good. And then I'm just going to take a look at Jennifer as well. Okay, I'm actually going to share my screen so you can see this. Jennifer says, just trying to figure this out. This my new album is in the past I've been a folk singer. Varied, yeah, jazz, dance tracks, but there's a mantra theme throughout. Okay, that's fantastic. I'm just taking a look at the Spotify here. Okay, so this is Jennifer. And it's great. So quite a few quite a few singles out there. That's nice. And were these released as an album, Jennifer? Be nice to know that. And the other thing I'd like to know is Jennifer, how was your experience of releasing this music? Was it easy? Was it good? Okay, so it's released as a with Maker Circle. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Vaishnavi says, I have more mantra and kirtan, but also bringing my original song, singer-songwriter, quite varied genres. Okay, and some dance tracks. So it's mantra theme. Okay, that's right. That's Vaishnavi. And Jennifer says, I'm figuring out what has been. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for your answers. Thank you for taking part. My new album is a mix of genres. Okay. Okay, great. So in the chat box, Jennifer, why was there a particular reason you released an album as opposed to releasing singles? Okay, let's take a look at it. Who is this? Who is Earth? Okay. Okay, I'm just taking a look and just want to see these. 2020, 2019, 2018. Okay. That's great. And then these were 2016. Okay, so there's been quite a break for Jennifer since releasing an album. Okay, fantastic. Let's figure out what the new album is. I've been a mantra. Okay. Great success with the Maker Circle, family music. And we both focus on our own solo stuff for a while. Okay, wow. So Earth has it's got quite a lot of traction actually. This is fantastic. Okay, really good. Vaishnavi, did you release this as a album as well, or was it released as a single? As singles. It looks like a whole album. An album, okay. So do you understand the difference between releasing things as an album or releasing as a single tracks? Okay, so you just put the album out there because you didn't really know how to do it and was just like, okay, get it out there. That's generally how it happens. I understand. And since then, what is your feelings now? Do you feel like you're more inclined to release tracks, or you're more inclined to release album? Okay. Great. Okay. So that's always a big question from musicians. Do you release an album or do you release tracks? That's right. And Jennifer, what do you find? Are you finding you're tending towards album or tracks? Plan to release a single first and then the album. Okay. So just in terms of albums and singles, there's there are reasons why. Can I just answer the question? Release singles. And there's a whole lot of sort of reasons behind that. The main thing is you spend all this time recording these tracks, coming up with the tracks, putting all your effort and stuff into it. You basically, in my personal opinion and many others, is you can't give enough attention to each track in an album when you release an album. So when you release a single, basically you can focus on that single, you can focus on the theme, you can focus on really giving it the best opportunity or the best sort of love that you can give it. There's so many, actually we can do a full webinar on why you're releasing singles as opposed to albums. The other reason is when you release a single, people don't generally put albums onto a playlist, but people will put singles. The other thing is people don't listen to albums as such. They listen to singles more. So you're going to get more airtime and more streams. The other reason why, if you go back to history and you look at why did people originally have albums, the whole reason for having an album was generally because albums came on records or came on CDs. So people generally had a CD, and then you would listen to the whole CD, or you'd sell the whole CD, or you couldn't just release a single. So you normally had 10, 12 songs, hour and 10 minutes. So people don't do that anymore. People release onto Spotify, and then if you are going to have single like CDs, then obviously you have to have an album. But generally people are releasing singles. Does that sort of make sense? We could spend a whole half an hour just talking about that particular thing. But should I say that unless there's a very specific reason for releasing an album, generally people are releasing singles. Oh yeah, and there are a couple of other sort of things that you've got to think about as well, is that generally I can see that's what happens with Jennifer there when she released her album, is that you spend all this time recording and mastering and getting the album ready, all these different tracks. Then you release the whole album onto your Spotify, and then what happens then? You can only put so much effort into the release. So you release your album, and then what happens is you've got nothing more to release. You can do some lives, I guess, but now you've got nothing else to keep your momentum going. So then you generally have this gap between the release and the next time you've got something else to release, which means that you just don't just keep a momentum going because you've got nothing else to sort of promote. And that's generally what happens on social media, is that you've always got to come up with new content. There's always something to keep people sort of into you or thinking about you, or looking forward to your next release. Whereas you put it all out in one, and then you have to wait for another year or two while you're recording songs, you're writing songs, you're getting them all together. So that's another good reason as well. The other reason as well, especially if you're focused on a Spotify release strategy, is that when you release an album, the bonus, what we're looking for from Spotify, what we're really aiming for is this jackpot. The jackpot is the opportunity. It doesn't happen all the time and it happens very rarely, but there is an opportunity that you can get your track onto an editorial playlist. The point about getting on an editorial playlist is if you can do that, okay, you can get a massive amount of promotion for absolutely free. So this is where the Spotify editors look at all the new releases coming out, and they will pick ones that they will actually promote for free. And when they promote it for free, they get to put it on these editorial playlists, which have possibly millions of people on the playlist. Okay, so they get to send it out to them through their algorithms to all their Spotify, all the people on Spotify. If you can get onto one of those editorial playlists, then you get this massive boost, and you could make a lot of money from it, one, but it could take your career like it just absolute to the next level. And yeah, so that's it's almost like winning the jackpot in effect. But the point is if you do release an album, you only get one chance to get on those editorial playlists. But if you release a single, you get multiple opportunities. So it's like, it's like buying a lottery ticket, really. If you buy one lottery ticket with an album, but you can have multiple lottery tickets with like single releases. Vaishnav, is there benefit to releasing an album? No, there's no benefit really. If anything, I would say what you could do is, because you have different platforms to release onto, so in effect, you can do different releases. You can do a release to SoundCloud. You can do a release to Bandcamp, and you can do a release to like a CD. You could actually, have all your, if you've got, for example, you've got all your tracks recorded, mixed, mastered, they're all ready to go. Why don't you put them onto a CD and then release a CD as like a physical product? But generally, if you're releasing to Spotify in the hopes of building like a Spotify sort of listener fan base, which is worldwide, then you're gonna focus on singles. And then you could, like, the other way to release an album, you could do an album to Bandcamp. Okay, if you want to like generate some income, so that would be a good way. But generally, if we're releasing to Spotify, we're releasing as singles. Let me see. I have someone I'm working with for press playlist, and it's more cost effective to do one single and an album. Also, I have a theme and a show workshop built around the themes of the collection of songs. Sure. And now I think I need to rethink this all. Yeah, so like I said, if you're focused on a Spotify release, I think especially as musicians, when you're starting off in building your career, the more opportunities you can get to get in front of people, the better. And then once you've actually built a fan base, you've got like thousands of fans on your Spotify sort of fan list, you've got thousands of streams, you're on thousands of playlists, then I think there's more of an advantage to releasing an album then, because you've got an album that you're releasing into an ecosystem of community. Whereas when you're releasing like, singles, each time you release a single, you're growing your fan base. You can focus on that single, release into 1,000 fans, and the next time you release, you're releasing into 1,200 fans. The next time you release, you're releasing into 1,300 fans. I know with artists, they've got, a particular, like there's a theme around an album, which is fantastic. So you want to release it as a creative expression. And that's fantastic, but it doesn't really work in the beginning stages of your career. Once you've built up like hundreds of thousands of fans, then, those type of album releases make more sense. And you can see, the development of an artist's sort of career when they do that type of thing. But yeah, my advice is releasing singles. Let's see if you can release singles, which then become part. Yeah, so that's exactly. So what artists generally do is they'll release a single. So generally our cycle is like a 4 to 6 week cycle. So you can do anything from 2 weeks, but the point is, there's a lot to do to give it the best opportunity. I think, the biggest regret you can have as an artist is one regret to have is that you rushed the process of a release, okay, and then you've spent all this time, like beautiful music coming out of your soul and like downloading all these amazing melodies and lyrics and everything, and then you spend all this money on recording it, getting the best artist and the best cello player, and you've got this beautiful expression, and then you don't put enough effort into releasing it out into the world, and nobody knows about it, right? Nobody's just going to like find it all of a sudden unless you go viral, and that's a very lucky thing. But there's so much music being released into this ecosystem now. There's like so much overwhelming amount of music that unless you actually promote it and actually get it out there, like put a lot of effort into telling people about it, letting people know about it, it just gets lost in an avalanche of music that's getting released every day. So I think on Fridays, for example, with Spotify, there's about 40,000 songs that get released every Friday. And generally we do release music on a Friday as well, because Friday is generally the day that people release music. And I think that's because I think one is to do with the editorial playlist, to give you more of a chance to get on a playlist. But two, also there's something to do with the charts. So charts get updated on a Saturday or something like that. So there's a couple of reasons, but the main drive is that we release music on the Friday. Really single, so that's what I say is, if you release in whatever cycle you've chosen, like 2-week, 4-week, 6-week cycle, I would say release, and then album. So you can still release all those singles as part of an album, but once you've released a few. And I know artists that do like 3 single releases and then the album, or 4 single releases and then the album, 5 single releases and the album. So you can still release the album as a sort of a creative expression, but it makes a lot more sense to release single, and then the album. So I could release album in Bandcamp and then release singles. Yeah, exactly. So your Bandcamp will go to your fan base. So that's something, and also it's a great way to release to Bandcamp first, because you're going to receive an income from that, right? And then you can put that income into promoting your album on Spotify. So that's a great way of actually producing an income from your music, which you want to do. And that's the other thing is in terms of when you are doing your music, some people need income, or have an income focus more than just like getting their music out there. From you guys, what do you feel? Do you feel like music is like a side hobby or a side project? You get your income from other activities, or do you really need to create an income from your music? What's the feeling? So are you focused on income, or trying to build a passive income from the music based on the way our mantra music has taken off with very little promotion at all? Fantastic. Right now, I don't need to create the income from music. In the past, my music was the main source of income. Okay, so what I've just, I think in terms of releasing music online, if you have the ability to spend £5 to £10 a day on advertising, on ads, then you can make a massive difference to the impact that your music release can have. £5 a day is like £150, but in terms of what ads can do for your music if done properly and with with a good strategy, I really think that ads can, it's like rocket fuel. If you have a little bit of money to invest in your business, then the amount of time that it would take for you to do organic sort of release strategies to get from where you are to where you want to go, which is, you know, your music producing a consistent amount of income. Because if you think about it, once you've sort of pushed this, you know, the stone up the hill, once it's at the top of the hill, it's all downhill. It's like, you know, once you've created the momentum, your music can just go amazing places, can become miraculous and produce amazing results. It's always in the beginning to get it up there takes a lot of effort. Okay, and you're building a like a brand, you're building a community base, you're getting better at your own skills, your own ability to communicate, your own ability to perform, all these different things that you're building up, and you're building your social media channels. But once you've got to a certain level, it does really take off. You'll find that, right? For example, Isla Schafer, when I was working with her at the beginning, I think, you know, her YouTube channel was something like 30,000 subscribers. And then very quickly it got to 50,000. But once it hit 50,000, like it took very short amount of time to get to 100,000. So there's certain like plateau or like sort of peaks that you get to that just make everything else just zoom off. Like the first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube might take 6 months to a year. The next 1,000 will take like a month. You know what I mean? It just you know, the momentum just keeps on going, goes and going. Or in the beginning, it takes a lot of time, effort, investment. And the more time and effort you put in the beginning, the faster that moment's going to come when all of a sudden you're just on the other side of the hill and it's just momentum. And then you're just rolling with it and you're just flowing with it. So I think in the beginning, ads can be very, very powerful and can take that amount of time that it takes to get to the top of the hill and shorten it to a lot shorter period. So you know, I've recently come across a very amazing sort of AI-based software package that does the whole ad system for you, and is very, 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 it looks very promising. I mean, the process of testing it with Moshe Halperin. So we've implemented the AI-based ad-based system, which, you know, Facebook ads can be very complicated, can be very like overwhelming. But if you can just like take the for example, the link to your track, pop it into a form. You can take the artwork from your track, upload it, and press a button, and all of a sudden this whole ad system is automatically rolled out into Facebook. And then what the other great thing is, every day you check and it gives you an exact stats, like how much per click that somebody is doing, how much it's costing you, and then you can exactly see how many fans have grown from that click, or, you know, that amount of money that you spent. So that's the point, is like you're doing something in social media, but then you're also getting very, very good statistics back. Because there's one thing like doing a whole lot of things, but then not knowing like what sort of results you're getting. So it's always a process of online, when you're working on online with social media, everything you do, the more detailed you can get with your stats, it becomes more inspiring, because like sometimes you can do a whole lot of things, you don't see the results. There might be a result, but if you don't see it, it doesn't help you to stay motivated. But when you can see instant results, okay, so today I spent £5 on ads and I got 5 followers on Spotify, that, you know, it's inspiring. It helps you keep motivated, right? You can see the direct results of the investment that you're putting in and the effort that you're putting in as well. So yeah, I will keep you guys informed, and I will be updating on this new system, which I think is very exciting. I'm very excited about it, because I think with a little bit of investment in your music online, it can just boost your ability to get to the top of the hill a whole lot faster. I'm gonna say voice soon. So I could release album in Bandcamp and then release singles. Yeah, always held it as a side project, but I'm inspired to build up a passive income. That's right. Right now, I don't do okay. Okay. So when we buy ads, basically it takes snippets of your music, either in video or audio form, and it puts them in front of people that you choose. So you can choose your demographic, like generally you'll know who the best demographic for your music is, and that demographic is either like an age range, so 35 to 45, or you know, and it could be male and female. You can choose, and then also a demographic of, oh yeah, and what it does is really amazing. It finds people that for example, listen to Nessie Gomez, or listen to, so it can be quite specified. You can find fans that in that genre. So if you have like people that like, you know, some of the artists that your fans would be following. So for example, you've got jazz type music or folk type music, and you have other artists that you know fans are following who are doing really well, that you know they're going to be the same type of fans for your music. You can actually like target that type of demographic. So you demographic on age, demographic on you know, male or female, and demographic on, you know, interest type as well. So it's very, very, very specific. So it means you get the most impact for the investment that you're putting into it. But I think generally in 2023, unless you're doing ads, then the only way to grow is spending like 3 to 4 hours a day, like doing social media, or maybe not 3 to 4 hours, but 2 to 3, 4 hours. And who wants to be doing that? Not many people, right? So you want to do some ads, you're going to let all, you know, you're going to like maximize the ability of these algorithms and stuff to actually find your fans and put your music in front of the fans. And then you're going to do your own social media. I think every musician needs to be very, very, very good at social media. So in the chat, can I ask you, and on a scale of 1 to 10, how stressful do you find social media? Okay, so when you say 8, is that 8 out of 10 stressful? Yeah. Okay, so that's generally the result, right? People are overwhelmed by social media. People are confused by social media. People find social media difficult, and people find that the efforts that they put in there don't get the results. And that's what yeah, so that's where we need to reframe what you're doing on social media. And I think this is my personal breakthrough with social media, was when I took it. I don't know, there's just a point when you've spent enough time with social media to get past the understanding that you're just dealing with like an image on the screen, or you're dealing with like Facebook as the thing, you know, this bad thing called Facebook, or this, you know, not bad thing, but this, you know, the software program. And you come to it more of a sense that this is an opportunity for me to make personal connections with other human beings. It's just not in the general way that we normally do it in a face-to-face type thing. So if you can sort of get to the stage where you're following a system of working with social media, you've got some boundaries around it. Like your boundaries are, okay, I'm going to wake up, you know, 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to spend half an hour doing my Instagram. And you choose one social media platform that you sort of connect with more than the others. Like you might do well on Facebook and Instagram, but I would suggest focus on one at a time. And then you get to really, really understand that software pack or that platform really, really well. And then you'll know that the time that you're spending on there is not a wasted time. Because when you start seeing results, because you're following a particular system and you're working with that, the way that social media platform needs to be worked with, you start seeing the results, then all of a sudden it's motivating. And when you're using the social media system to connect with fans, actually make real connections, real heart-to-heart connections, like interacting with fans, and it just becomes a platform for you to speak to people and connect with people. And this is what you're doing as a musician, right? You've got to like yeah, this is the other question I had for you guys. Like what are you as a musician? What are you doing? Like what's the point of being a musician? Why are you a musician? What are you doing? Like what is the point of a musician? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Okay, I'll finish up soon. Yeah. Just quick question. V, what's the point of being a musician? That's okay, yeah. Okay, V needs to go. Bye. Have a good day. Okay, so yeah, so you're bringing healing, inspiration, and joy. Yeah, you're not entertaining. You know, I think in the pop music genre, people are entertaining, and so you're coming from a different place. And I think sacred musicians, musicians with heart, musicians who are a little bit more conscious, are coming to it from a different place. So this is where, you know, social media can be very, very powerful, because it gives you access to a much larger group of people, but then you have to come to it from a different place. So you're not like, you see a lot of musicians out there, they're just entertaining, right? They're doing a video and they're like performing, it's like an entertainment. Whereas a lot of the musicians that I'm working with are more like, okay, I'm here to bring, you know, some type of energy, some type of consciousness, some type of feeling. I'm here to bring healing. I'm here to bring you. So you're serving, you're coming from a place of service rather than entertainment. So there's a whole different way of approaching the way you're doing music. And in this genre, especially in the beginning, when you're starting off on your career, you can really use this opportunity to make personal connections with the people that you're serving. Like, your music is there to serve people. So you're making those personal connections because you know you're here, and the music is used as a tool or channel to help people in various ways. Can help people, you know, express feelings, can help people, you know, reach places of meditation, can help people to relax, can help people to de-stress, can help people to feel good about themselves. You know, so you're like a tool that people are accessing to receive these different you know, positive benefits. So it's way more than entertainment. This is like conscious music. It's music where, you know, it's not entertainment, it's way beyond that. Okay. So in that respect, I think the biggest advantage that you have is that now, because you are creating these personal connections through your music, is that you can create personal connections to these people that your music is serving. And so you're using social media as this medium for you to get access to a whole group of people and be able to create these personal connections. And that's why social media is an amazing tool for creating these personal connections. And in that way, you're going to grow your fan base, because it's really not about how many fans there are, but more about how many personal connections you can create. So the other thing is, when you're releasing music, okay, that music has a specific intention. Like, you might create a song for meditation, you might create a song for celebration, you might create a song with a particular theme of grief, or, you know, transformation, or whatever it is, right? So now you can focus, and you can take the people that you're expressing that music to on that journey with you, which is the theme of the song. Sometimes the song has a story behind it, so you can really, you know, bring people along with you on that journey, which is, you know, in some ways more difficult with an album, whereas with a track, you can really focus on a particular emotion, a particular experience, a particular you know, facet of life, and be much more focused with it. Yeah, so the point about like another thing about releasing singles is that you get many opportunities to have personal connections with people. So your content that you're putting out there in many different ways, through videos, through snippets, through images, through posts, you're always in the process of creating these personal connections with people. That's why, you know, when people like your stuff, when people comment on your stuff, for you to keep on interacting and use the social media platforms to interact is very powerful. Okay, yeah, so you'll definitely, so the point about when you're releasing a single is the more content that you've got, the more opportunities you have to put your expression out there, and then attract and gather the fans who are going to connect with you. Okay, so we do that in various ways. We do that through our Facebook page and posting various things. Like, for example, the more type of content that you and different content that you can post in a theme, which is the theme is your release, the more opportunities you have to connect with various people, right? So when people are releasing a track, you're going to have, up until the release date, you're going to have like snippets of the single, like little audio snippets, maybe little videos you can do with shorts, and you can release those shorts with little snippets every single day, like on Instagram, 15 seconds every single day. Videos are very important these days, hugely important. And when artists release tracks, you can release 3 or 4 different types of videos. You can release lyric videos, you can release your main featured video, you can release various versions of your featured video. So yeah, the more content that you have to release a track, the better. Your videos are super important, especially right now. Like a load of artists are having a whole lot of success with shorts. Shorts are super important. TikTok, Facebook Shorts, Instagram Reels, Instagram Live, Instagram Stories, and yeah, even TikTok, YouTube Shorts as well, super important. So yeah, so I have this framework, which is called the One Song Away framework, which I haven't really gone into in great detail at the moment. I'm going to post in actually on the first day, which I'll show you, is actually the first day of a planned release in this strategy, this 5-step strategy. I'm just going to show you that quickly. And let's see. Okay, so okay, that's a page. Okay, so this is the One Song Away, the challenge Facebook group, and under the guide section is guide 1, which will be the first day. Each day I'm going to put up a guide. Guide 2 will be the preparation day, implementation. So yeah, so basically the 5 steps are just as an overall summary. Step 1 is planning. Step 2 is preparation. Step 3 is implementation. Step 4 is the launch, and step 5 is the post-launch. So basically, you can take your whole launch, okay, and divide it into these different stages. And in each stage is going to have a whole lot of different tasks and different actions to take. And under these different headings, again, the headings are, in the start would be planning. Step 2, preparation. Step 3, implementation. Step 4 is the launch, and step 5 is post-launch. So this is a great way to take the overwhelm out of the whole process and actually break it down into manageable steps. So the other thing is also, as you understand, is that depending on your skill level and your knowledge and your you're going to do, these sort of steps can be like highly complicated, or they can be basic. They can be very simple. So in the beginning, you're going to just do very simple releases. You're not going to do so many steps because you're going to focus on each part, doing very simple sort of strategies. And then as you get better at the simple strategies, then you can sort of get more advanced and do much more advanced type activities. Spending money on submitting their songs to playlists, or is a budget better used on ads and creating content? There is a software website called Submit Hub. Have you heard of Submit Hub? So Submit Hub is a very powerful sort of website. Basically, it gives you the opportunity of taking your song and putting it in front of many playlist sort of curators. They will take a look at the song. They will also give you feedback on the song as well. And they will, if they like the song, they will actually put it onto their playlists. So this is a way of really getting a good step up when you release a song, is to go to Submit Hub. You don't have to spend that much money. You can spend 10, 20, 30, 40 pounds, but it'll give you a quick boost on getting on various playlists. But then also there's loads of different strategies on how to get onto playlists, and getting onto playlists is where it's at, especially with the Spotify release. So yeah, I should definitely spend some money on trying to get onto playlists, but do it in a proper way where it's actually done. You know, you're not paying to get onto playlists. You're doing it in a way that actually makes sense, because you can pay to get Instagram likes, you can pay to get Facebook likes, and they're never, you know, it can actually ruin everything. So you want to do it in a way that has integrity, and will actually be to playlists that where people will actually listen to your music, not just, you know, not just bought playlists. So I think if you have any other questions, I just want to see, because I just want to see if anybody has asked any questions on the live. Okay, so that's great. I've actually talked myself out today. I had a big weekend. So I'm just actually gonna open it up, and let's just say hi to Jennifer. Do you want to? Do you mind unmuting and say hi? Let me just do this quickly. I'm gonna have to give you. Hey Jennifer, nice to meet you. I just need
Hi,
to...
nice to meet you. Thank you for all that. That was great.
Yeah, fantastic. You're very, very welcome. I'm just trying to unpin myself 1 sec. Okay, then we can see you as well. Hey, there you
Hi.
are. Hi.
Hi.
Where about you're in New York, you said?
Well, I'm in New York right now. I'm in Connecticut, but I live in New York and Connecticut.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. And
Yeah.
yeah, your music looks great. So I'm looking forward to having a listen. And do you have any like social media channels that you work with that's your favorite, your preferred?
I work with Instagram mostly
Yeah.
and trying to get my Facebook. I like kind of had like a lapse in my career. So I'm moving back into it, but it was a family music career the last 10 years. So I'm like in a transition. So that's the challenge, you know,
Sure.
pushing the audience.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's always a challenge, is to move your audience, but you're also creating new audience as well. So
Exactly.
that's the main thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you so much for taking part.
Thank you.
Are you joining us for the rest of the week?
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, well, keep a lookout for the take a read through the featured section. There's a couple of like slides in there that'll be really good. I'll also be adding some more content for you know, just to give you the overview of the release process, and hopefully like at the end of the challenge, you know, you have a good idea of like the whole release process. You've learned a bit, you've grown a bit, and your release will be more successful. When is your next release? Have you set a date yet?
Well, I set a date for September, the end of September, but now after this class, I'm going to rethink a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, but definitely soon. I don't want to sit on the music too long. I feel like it's done. I want to get it out there, but.
Okay, so you've got a single that is mixed and mastered?
No, I haven't mastered it yet. I have a set of songs. I have like an EP, like 7 songs. So
are any of them in a ready state for release?
they're all ready. They're all ready. I know I have to get it mastered. So
okay,
I have one more little tweak.
Yeah.
And then I was going to master it hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But I've been like working on the back end of stuff, you know, like trying to get all the artwork and that's a question. Do you need different artwork for every single?
Yeah. So this is the great thing, right? This is the great thing is like I think were you planning to release it as an album in September?
No, I was going to do one single and then I was going to do an album, but now I don't know. I think I'll probably, anyway.
Yeah.
Curious.
So I think just keep that as like a question, like have that question answered, because you want to be really clear. Like, yes, I definitely want to release singles, and this is why. You want to have those reasons really clear in your head. And yeah, so that's a question that you can explore over the next few days and get really clear on that solution. Yes, so you would have generally, like, if people if artists are releasing an album, they're going to have a different artwork for each single. But for example, you could take the same artwork and just give it a different flavor, like change the background color or change a little icon on it, just to make it slightly different, So there's some like you can see that they're from the same album, but
Okay.
you know, so that's really nice. Is
Okay.
like you take the same image and then just change the background or change like part of it. So
Uh-huh.
you don't have to recreate every single piece of art unless you want to. You know, but it's not. I think it's really nice if you see, for example, do you have a minute? Do you have a minute? I'll show you this.
Yeah.
You're not in a rush or anything, eh?
Nope.
Okay, I'll just show you this very, very quickly. So let's take a look at Moshe Halperin, for example. Okay, so Moshe Halperin has got he's got this like this feather sort of theme throughout his tracks that are leading up to this album, which is really, really nice. And you can see they're all sort of I just want to see if I can get it up large. It's not going to open for me now. Let's see if I can get it. Go to song. Still not. Anyway, it's hard to see, but you can actually see that there's like a feather theme going through his stuff here. Yeah, so it's really nice. Like have like a type of theme for. In fact, maybe it's hidden. Let's just see. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there's a couple of examples.
Oh,
like
cool.
feather theme there, and then the feather there. But you can see it sort of has a a particular style to it.
Yeah, that's really cool. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And you could, like, for example, you could like do like artwork with the feather and then just have this as a different color. You know, that's another option as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good option.
Yeah.
Yeah, was there anything else I know? Did I miss anything else? No, that's great. I think that's enough for one day.
Thank you. Yeah, that was awesome.
But yeah, good thing for you to think about and get really clear on like the album or the singles. You know,
Yeah.
speak to some other artists and also, get their opinion on as well. But if you've got what's nice about like doing a single as well is like you can really get that ready. You can focus on the artwork and go, because there's more artwork than just the album or the single cover. So there's Facebook banners, you want like YouTube banners, there's Spotify, different Spotify sort of images. So that's really helpful.
Will have to change for every, that's what I'm saying. Like I have an artist who's gonna do something for me, and it's like, it's an investment, I love it. And I can use it because it's gorgeous, and I could use it in my live experiences that I'm doing. But I don't want to pay, $1,000 or whatever for every single.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's why you could do a deal with them and just say, hey, listen, can you just change a color? And I'm sure, you that probably wouldn't cost a lot to just make it slightly different for each one. But then you could also, you don't have to do it all at once as well. So you could do the first single. It's going to be another 6 weeks before the next one, or whatever your release cycle is. So it gives you more time to sort of, generate the funds to invest in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, or you can just have exactly the same design, just with the name different, right? That also really works. So it doesn't have to be like completely different. Okay. But yeah, there's a whole lot of different artwork that you want to incorporate into your album release. And that's why a lot of artists get really good at Canva, because you can, it's so easy. And it's good. Like personally, I'm doing so many different images all the time that if I have to like get a graphic designer, just the process of having to put it to them, get their feedback, get it back, that whole process just takes so much time. If I'm putting out images all the time, I have to use Canva, because I need to do it myself. I need to be empowered enough to just, make an image, think of an idea, make an image, put it out there. It just has to be a quicker process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. Please enjoy the rest of the week, and yeah, if you have any questions, like this is a great opportunity for you to have them answered. Anything comes up, please let us know. And then I think tomorrow I'll try to be a little bit more organized, but it's also nice to be like a little bit more flexible with this whole thing, because, you know, the system that I've created, I can just give it to you. It's just like PDF. It's like, it's
Right.
really simple, but, you know, this is like more creative, like, you know, okay. So, you know, it's, yeah, I like, it's nice to be in the moment about it as well.
Yeah,
Not too like formal, you know, like I
Yeah.
have to cover this, and it's not like I'm not presenting like a teaching program.
I like it. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Jennifer.
You.
See you tomorrow. Have a good day.
Okay.
Ciao. Bye bye.